the fucking sound of birds chirping and old ladies fucking saluting you, man.
Okay.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, back to another episode, the No Free Game Podcast. I'm your humble, gracious host, King Solomon. I'm still here with my boy, Big Jew. Shout out to my man, Big Shot in the back. And today, you all know why today's gonna be a great episode, especially for me. So now I've said it on the podcast. I'm in the finance world. I do deal with money all the time. And one of the things in this world you learn about is called venture capitalism. I didn't know what the fuck it was. A lot of people don't know what the fuck it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to learn a lot about it today. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Goldin, our fucking wonderful guest here today with us. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. This is even cooler for me because I know you're not really an interview guy. So we got lucky. Shout out to my man Drew for pulling this shit off and have you here with us. Listen, man, first things first, I'm sure many people may not know who you are. Many people may know who you are. So a quick synopsis, who is Goldin? What makes him fucking look as dapper? Hold on, before you continue. We be having niggas in here looking crazy. We be having niggas in sweats. We be having niggas in tank tops. Nobody has came on this pod looking like a motherfucking $1,000,000. Okay?
That's so, get money green?
I'll tell you what, if I didn't think you had $1 million, I now think you got $1 million. But no, all jokes aside, Goldin, please just give people a quick synopsis who you are, where you came from, your background, and we're going to have some fucking fun today.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you for having me on this incredible podcast.
Definitely.
As you mentioned, you and I know each other for many years. We were basketball buddies.
It's always ball.
Yeah.
Ball.
You know how that works. And we were actually, just a fun fact about me and Jew, we were undefeated on the basketball court.
Still.
His jump shot still broke, so it must have been you. It was you that...
We would actually take turns.
They had to see it.
Like
they had to be
there. You had to be there. You had to be there.
You had to be there.
Yeah. So that's why I agreed to be on the show. You know, we just have that dope, connection, and I'm just honored to be here. And just for everyone who's watching, my name is Goldin Martinez. I am the CEO and executive chairman of Goldin Brands. It's a parent company that I oversee. We work with investors and founders all over the world to build some of the best brands that some of you may know. We'll talk about some of those brands here on the show. But that's what I do professionally. But in my personal life, I always like to start with, I'm a Christian. I am a believer of God.
Let's go. I love that.
And I actually learned that in Africa. I was in Africa this summer.
Oh, wow.
And a dear friend of mine, Eon Eno, Eon, I love you, brother, for teaching me this. But he said, anytime you introduce yourself, you say you're a Christian first before anything. And this man was the most famous soccer player in Cameroon, Africa. And people would ask him, oh, how do you love soccer? And he would tell people, I'm a footballer second, I'm a Christian first. I'm a husband second, I'm a Christian first. I'm a father second, I'm a Christian first. And he taught me that.
Yeah, that's powerful.
So I'm a Christian. I'm a father to 2 beautiful children, my son Lucas, my daughter Emily. I love you both very much. I am a brother. I am a person who's a community builder. And again, we'll talk about my professional background, but that's just my personal side. I'm a good friend. I'm loyal. As you see, Jew asked me to be on the show, and I'm a big believer of friendships.
That's fire. That's fire.
I'm a very loyal person.
It's funny because with all the guests that we've had, loyalty seems like a theme anytime we talk to people, right? And I'm a super loyal person myself, Shad. That's one of those, if you just point out a characteristic, I think that's one thing that anybody who knows us would say also. And I find it interesting how those people, even we just met, when you first meet somebody, you kind of talk to them, see how they are. And people who truly are loyal and have that true attribute, you can kind of feel it. Even when we spoke off air, we didn't talk about loyalty at all. But just hearing the conversations and hearing the people that you know and how long you've known them for, that's the one thing, especially with men, before we get deep into it. I can never trust no nigga who can't tell me they don't have a friend for 20 years. If you ain't got no friendships, you know what I mean? It's one thing if you're young, but if you in your 30s and you can't tell me you ain't have a friend from middle school,
I think the cutoff, let's say
At least
10,
high school.
15.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I'll give you high school. I really prefer at least a middle school homie, but at least you got a man's back in like 11th, 12th grade or whatever. Then cool. Because if you don't, something wrong with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some in your DNA don't.
Nobody you share the turkey sandwich with. Nobody on school trips you still call. Like nobody,
right. Nobody like you now. That's weird. But listen, so we're gonna dive right into things. You brought up brands. I want to talk to you about branding, right? Okay. And I want to talk to you about branding because, especially nowadays in the world where everyone has social media, I think branding, the word, is one of the most overused, annoying terms I've ever heard, right? Because everybody has a brand. Everybody does, you know what I'm saying? So what I want to ask you specifically is like, what do you see as a true brand, right? Like what characteristics, what things are you looking for that when you're creating either your own brand or you're investing in other companies and things like that? Like, what are you looking for in a brand, or what is a brand to you?
Well, that's a great question. It's actually a loaded question, right?
Right.
Because as you mentioned, you know, we live in a society now where brands are all over the place. They're all over the place, right? And but the truth is, we are brands, right?
Right.
We as individuals, we have to be self-conscious of that we shouldn't be out here on social media putting things that are not going to be synonymous with our brand or the things that we want to attract, right? So we first have to pay attention to our personal brand. So regardless if you're not a branding person, you have a personal brand. Right. You have a personal brand in your office space when you go to work. You have a personal brand at home with your among your family members. You have a personal brand among your friends, right? And sometimes you may have different characteristics in your brand for different people, different settings, different environments. But to answer that question, I would start off with, we have to focus on our personal brand first. So for me, at least, for my personal brand, the Goldin Martinez brand, you know, I'm a person, as you mentioned, I'm loyal. I'm a man of my word. I'm a person that when I say something, I do it. You know, if I'm gonna write a check to a company, I'm gonna back it up. I'm not gonna backtrack, and regardless of anything. So that's number one. Your personal brand is important. Number two, now when we talk about brands that are consumer-facing brands, right? Consumer-facing brands, what I look for, number one thing is this brand in a good market? Right?
The market is that's a gem right there, because I think the market gets overlooked by a lot of people. And just talking with people who try to either start their own business or trying to be a music artist or trying to do whatever, the first question to ask, like, all right, well, who are you selling your music to? I think it's for the ladies. Cool. How many ladies listen to your music?
Exactly.
2. Well, is it for the ladies or is it for your mans?
Exactly.
So these steps, there's steps like so going into, like you said, the brand building. What's one of the most first crucial steps? Because like some people, I just want to do music. The music you might want to do might not be relative to the brand you don't even know you have. So what's the earlier steps of even like, okay, one of the biggest things is, should you focus on what you're good at or what you like?
That's a great question. So basically, again, when you're building a brand, you first have to see the market opportunity, right? That's what I was trying to say earlier. And what I mean by that is, okay, I had a friend earlier today, he sent me a photo of a clothing line he wants to launch. And the clothing line was called Gemini Energy, right? And cool, right? Cool, Gemini Energy. But when I think about that as an investor, you pretty much can only sell to Geminis. Right? That's
a good point.
So is there really and I love him to death. He's a good friend of mine. But from an investor perspective, your market is extremely small.
Right.
So now you're gonna have to prove to me that there's going to be enough Geminis in the world, or at least in the markets you want to, so not the world, in the markets that you're gonna be in, that are gonna buy this product enough for me to wanna be interested in investing into it. And that's just the quickest example I can give. But when you look at things, you have to look at things from that perspective. So my first company that I started, my first brand, was a brand called Get Focused, as I mentioned earlier.
I remember. That was a great brand. Shout out to that. Gave back to the community a lot with the books.
Some claps going.
Yeah. It was books, the workouts.
The workouts. But actually, so it was a Jew, and I was telling King Solomon, that was my first $1 million company. right? And I was only 19 years old when I started it. It was a very simple model, right? So when you start any company, you want to look at a problem and you want to solve the problem, right? And the problem at that time, this was around 2008, 2009, childhood obesity was huge in the community, right? All over the country. And our first lady at the time, Michelle Obama, incredible first lady, she had an initiative called the Let's Move Initiative. And what she wanted to do was combat childhood obesity. So what I did was at the time, as you know, all three of us love to work out. We're all, people who believe in health and fitness.
You see my boy.
Oh yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast. He's a beast.
It's not about me, America.
Yeah. But basically, the idea I had was, well, if childhood obesity is a problem in the community, then we should create a fitness program to help combat that. And I launched the Get Focused program in my community of Washington Heights. And it was a simple 12-week curriculum where we would take young people from the community and teach them the importance of health and fitness, help them through build exercise programs, leadership skills. And what we began doing was offering that program as an alternative to phys ed programs to schools. So at the time, a lot of schools were getting budget cuts. And what was happening is they were completely eliminating phys ed. So we came in and said, hey, well, what if we came in and gave you an alternative that was less than half the cost? And they were like, okay, great. And we would present the Get Focused program to them. And we were hiring licensed personal trainers to come in and teach the young people how to work out and how to be healthy and how to be fit. And it worked. And it worked.
Still cost efficient.
Yeah.
Within the budget.
Bro, in New York City alone, in our first year, we landed hundreds of schools.
I remember this. This was also on the news. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't think we had. This is way back then. You started in when?
2009.
That was that long ago? Because this was on like Fox. Good Morning America. Yeah. This is him. As I said, his level of humility.
I ain't think about. Oh shit!
You guys helped.
I have heard about. Oh, that's fucking nuts. Oh, we up, niggas. Look at some clocks going. Hold on, we up. I ain't even know. I remember it.
Books.
Yeah. Oh,
shit. It was so deep. So you're saying find a problem that you can find a solution, something that cheat code.
Yeah. So that's one of the strategies to be able to bring a brand to market. You find the problem, you provide a solution, and I did that with my first brand with Get Focused, and very successful, as you mentioned. We became a national movement and ultimately a global movement, and it led me into my second brand that I was mentioning off air as well, which was Call Feed. Call Feed. You take the word coffee and the word feed, put them together, and it was an altruistic coffee company out of New York City, and a group of guys out of Wall Street came together, came up with the concept of Call Feed. And the concept was that they wanted to compete with Starbucks and the Dunkins of the world, but they wanted to create the most charitable-minded coffee shop. So at the time, Starbucks and Dunkin', they had like social impact and social responsibility integrated into their models, but they weren't leading with that.
Right.
A lot of brands actually don't lead with social responsibility and social impact.
Right.
So these group of men actually wanted to create this company that was leading with that. And who better than coming to a person like me to learn more about social impact? Because with the Get Focused program, that's what we were focusing on. Because I'm all about social entrepreneurship. So the founders of Call Feed came over and said, hey, will you be willing to build out our social impact model? And I never done it before for a brand other than Get Focused. And I said, I don't know if that's going to work. And my dear friend, Frank Raphael, founder of Call Feed, he was like, man, I trust you. Just can you make it happen? Like, you're a people's person. Like, the community. You know how to empower children. And I took on the responsibility of building out the social impact model for Call Feed. And with that model, and obviously with good coffee and good food and good customer service and everything, we were able to build Call Feed from one location to over 24 in 5 years. And
That's crazy. That's some fucking class for that. God damn. God.
You said giving back as well. With my early event planning group, just each event, whatever I do in that city, I try to give back. Because then it's also, people also like being a part of something that they feel as if they can give back or help the community. Because it's always good to do for yourself and people around you, but to do for somebody you don't know, especially when you're building something, because like you said, when you give somebody else another idea or opportunity to be like, yo, I can do that. Like, I'm pretty sure when people watch this interview and the information that you just had, they'll be like, yo, I know I'm not crazy. Like, I can be that guy.
Yeah.
They just gotta see it. And then when you're able to do that, because that's crazy when
you brought up
that's crazy.
You brought up a great point, and it's that confidence to go ahead and do that, right? So for you who started multiple businesses, where do you think that confidence comes from to even go out and do it, right?
Question.
And
That's such a good question.
That's a good question.
Let me let you finish.
well, I only say that because, even in my own personal life and my adventures and talking to a lot of people, fear is such a big thing. And like people don't even get to point A because they're so scared, right? So just for you, for someone who has reached your level of success, from the very, very beginning, where do you think that confidence came from to even jump out the window and start what you started?
Yeah, no, I'm so happy you asked me that question. And I keep referencing us being off air because you and I had a very powerful conversation. Right. And you mentioned something earlier about your father.
Right.
Being
The bigger.
yeah, right? The big dog, the big dog. Yeah.
Shout out to Pop. Hey, brother, not talk about this. Don't forget that, right?
The big dog, and you mentioned how he was able to set your family up
Right.
and build generational wealth by investing into real estate.
Right.
And the reason I'm bringing your father up is because I believe that being exposed to a leader like your dad and watching him make moves to put your family in position, I think it woke you up.
Right.
And it woke something in you to become a leader yourself
100%.
and to pursue business at the level that you're pursuing it in. And I think it's important to note that as a young person for myself, that's what I saw. I saw a lot of my uncles pursuing businesses, creating endeavors, and it was something that I looked up to. And I saw them changing their life and getting out of the hood because they were pursuing positive endeavors.
Seeing is believing. You saw it, you wanted that.
100%. And so I am a huge believer that young people should be exposed more to business, to entrepreneurship, to leadership. And that's why we need more positive role models in the community.
Right.
So for me, that's what I saw. And so I give my uncles a lot of credit for exposing me to business. But also, I want to give a shout out to one of my mentors, my lifelong mentor. I think we need mentors in life, right?
Yeah.
But one of my mentors, I met him when I was 13 years old.
Wow.
And I was a young kid from Washington Heights. And he was actually a founder of an organization called Fresh Youth Initiative. They're a nonprofit out of Washington Heights. And at the time, they were almost brand new, maybe 1 or 2 years old. They were just getting off the ground. And their mission was to gather the young people from the community and empower them through community service. And what they would do, and at the time, I thought community service was something that criminals did.
Right.
Something that you were punished with.
Right.
But they changed the whole narrative. And they were able to get us young people to believe that community service was an empowerment tool for us. That we can go out and clean the parks, we could feed the homeless, we can give back and make a difference. And they did that through Fresh Youth Initiative, and they grew from a few dozen kids to a few thousand.
Wow.
But I was lucky enough to be a part of the first nucleus of kids out of that organization. And I watched this great man, Rodney Fuller, and his partners and his team build out this organization from scratch in the hood.
Wow.
In the hood. Like I'm talking about in the 1990s in Washington Heights.
That's crazy.
That's
when the streets was jumping back then.
Yeah.
That's when the block
Yeah.
was
You gotta
hot for
really
real.
trust it. You gotta really trust that vision that you had, because I'm pretty sure you had.
No, and I saw him, Drew, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but watching him build this organization from scratch, I said to myself, one day I'm gonna become that man and I'm gonna build an organization that's gonna mobilize an entire community to create positive change. I said that at 13 years old.
That's crazy.
You saw the possibility.
I saw it. It reminds me of like ball players when they see their dad or they see a fellow NBA player and they're like, I'm gonna become that one day. And
you around like
yes,
you saw it.
and that becomes your North Star, right? That becomes that literally
right.
like every day you wake up and you're like,
That's
this
what
is,
you gotta do.
Yes.
Right.
So to answer your question, those were the events that happened in my life that kind of led me to wanting to be a leader of an organization.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I know we touched on branding a little bit, and I just wanted to get your opinion and your thoughts on kind of where do you see branding going forward, right? Like in the sense of how it comes off on social media a lot nowadays is just, being on social media. Like people think, all right, I have a clothing line, whatever, my brand is whatever, and I'm just gonna post, and now I'm gonna get, a million people buying my product, right?
Nice.
So I want to ask you, like, where do you really see, if somebody's listening to this pod and they have an idea and they want to start a brand, where do you see the future of branding itself going? And how do you think somebody new can really break in with like some fresh new ideas that could actually do something?
Yeah. It's funny, as you were talking, I was thinking about what a friend said to me many, many years ago, and he said, Goldin, there's a lot of CEOs out there. Right? But he said, but you know what he said? He followed it up with it, but there's a lot of CEOs of shit that makes no money.
Niggas love starting brands that ain't nobody never heard of.
You can start whatever.
Yeah, brother, start it. Go ahead, my nigga.
So this is what I would say to that. So that was always his joke, and I would always laugh, like, wow, man, that's funny. So I always strive to not be that, right? I didn't want to be a CEO of something that made no money. Right? Because then that's not the point of business. The first rule in business school is to be profitable.
Right. You got a hobby then. Yeah. Feel free with your hobby, but I mean.
Yeah. So but what I would say to answer your question, what I believe the future of branding is I think that we live in a time where life is hard and your regular 9-to-5 is not cutting it anymore.
Nope.
And I believe that everyone is aspiring to want to become an entrepreneur now.
Right. Some way, shape, or form. Right.
In some way, shape, or form. Either as a part-time side gig, a hustle, or even as a full-time, and they want to transition from their normal 9-to-5. So I think that we're gonna see a spike in brands, without a doubt. Yeah, we're already seeing it.
Every fucking day is a new content.
We're already seeing it. But what happens is, so it's gonna be inevitable. People are gonna want to build brands. And what's gonna happen is, a lot of people are gonna want to build brands with things they know, right? So people are gonna want to build clothing lines. They're like, because that's something that's like tangible. They can see it. They can, they're gonna wanna maybe record a song and be like, hey, I'm gonna go in the studio and try to make it in the music business. What I would say is try to think outside the box, right?
Yes.
Like I think I see entrepreneurs now. I see one in particular who started a recycling company. And started a recycling company, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna go after city contracts and just be able to recycle waste and material.
That's an essential.
It's an essential.
All the homies who, damn, I hate working. I don't want to do this, that, and third. I said, you're thinking too hard. What do people need? So first thing, human essentials always going to be essential.
Right.
Yeah.
Roofing, carpentry, electrician, chef.
Exactly.
So in those realms now, like we said, with us having social media and branding in that aspect, do you think it'll be like, let's say in 10, 15 years, not even let's say, when you get there, like, with the big dog, when you really at.
But you know what's funny? What's the one thing that all those things have in common? Even the recycling company, they're all service-based businesses.
Yes.
Right? So what happens is a lot of people they're focusing their attention on product-based businesses, right? Because now what's happening is you're competing with giants. You're competing with people whose wallets
monopolized.
Yeah. But when you service-based businesses, now that you actually can really capitalize on that, because service-based businesses depends on your personality, your customer service, whether or not your service is whether you're using good equipment for your service. Damn, right?
Because you can hit the ground running. People can see you, like you said. So, but also your moral creed. You're able to keep your word. You're in these places. So people's like, I like him. They'll give you a chance.
Yeah.
If I don't like the shirt, I'm not gonna give the shirt a chance.
Right. I don't care how dope you are.
The
shirt ass. Hey, you my man's. That shit looks terrible.
I don't like buttons on my shoulders, bro. I can't do it.
I know he's in 5th grade, brother. That shit ass. That cotton ain't even cotton no more, my nigga.
But the problem, but another issue with product-based businesses, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
But the thing is, when an early stage entrepreneur is entering a product-based business, they don't have the capital to compete with the people who are making products at top-notch quality. Right, so you are making,
I've been gunshots and bombs all day.
It's not a network that they have, like you said, your friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
9 times out
because
of 10.
so the problem is they're entering the market trying to compete on price, And
you can never.
and you can't compete
like
on
I
price.
can't. I'm not gonna beat Sheen and ASOS and whatever.
You're
when
just not.
They can mass produce
like that.
millions of shirts, and I can do 10. Like you know what I mean?
Well, are there segues? Well, we don't want to discourage anybody, but are there segues?
Well, I think you build a movement
into those other avenues.
Yeah, well,
what's the difference from service and then product based? Because that's a very interesting point you made.
What do you mean? Sorry.
So you were like with, let's say, the recycling business that your friend started,
or a roofing business. You mentioned roofing. Yeah.
So these are service based. So we're getting into service based. That's ground running. You can get there and okay, I know if I do 5 roofs a day, this is that. I can have these people see me talk, get the contract, opposed to, okay, I got 20 shirts I think are hot.
Yeah.
What's the difference as far as getting into those two? Can it be a segue from service-based into product-based? Because like you said, everybody wants some, I got the new hot shit, but how you gonna sell the new hot shit if nobody think you hot? I know you new, but I don't like that shit. As far as, I need my roof fixed. Those are two very different things. Can you segue into product-based from service?
Oh, 100%, right? 100%. Like a great example is I have a friend in the HVAC business.
Okay.
Right? It's a service-based business, but they sell product through their business, right? Because everyone's thinking product has to be, no, it's not a clothing line, but they're selling, air conditioners, they're selling, filters, right? They buy these products by bulk. They're buying it, they're ordering it at wholesale prices, and they're selling it to their customers. So you can be service and product at the same time.
Okay.
Right. So now you have 2 revenue streams as a business. So it's very possible to intersect the two. But now thinking like urban stuff, like a clothing line, it's tough to be a service-based clothing line. Like you never heard of that before. Maybe there's one out there. I haven't heard of it. But
we'll work on that. Actually, don't want to get that gym away. He ain't say that.
That was your idea. Now you got it. So you're going on a service-based clothing line tomorrow. I got him going now.
Yeah.
Continue. We didn't say anything.
So I wanted to move forward, and I want to talk about your current business. Goldin Brands. And you mentioned
right here. I got the little
big G.
Right
you see the G, right? Yeah. We're gonna zoom in on that bitch when you see it.
All good.
So in that, you mentioned that you are involved in venture capitalism.
I am.
So for those who do not know, can you just give a quick answer as to what being a venture capitalist is? And then we'll go deep from there. But pause. But for now, pause. But for now,
I feel like I'm on the "It Is What It Is" show.
Hey, shout out to, hold on. I don't do free promos. Shout out to Mason Cam.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mason Cam. I don't even do free promos, but shout out to that. So just very quickly, for someone who's never heard of the term, what is a venture capitalist to you?
Yeah. So basically, when you think of venture capital, a lot of people think of it as investors, right? So that might be the simplest way to look at it, right? So they're naturally investors, right? So they're looking for startups that have big potential to grow, and they're looking to invest capital in return for equity, right? The difference between, I would say, a direct investor versus a venture capitalist is that a venture capitalist is investing money on behalf of his pool of investors, what they will call limited partners. So limited partners are individuals who have probably done well for themselves in lives or have inherited, some money, and they're looking to diversify their asset classes, right? They might be in the public markets, they may be in real estate, maybe in different things, but they have heard of venture capital. They want to access that asset class, so they use a venture capitalist, a general partner, to say, "Hey, King Solomon, here's $10 million. You have my permission to go out there and invest this in fintech companies. And now you have to go out there and maybe build a team if you want, right? And find the best fintech companies out there to park this investor's money. And what you get in return, there's usually a fee and a carry, right? So there's usually about a 2% fee, management fee. And that's just for administrative stuff. So in case depending how big your fund is, or, some people have funds that are 100 million, billions, right? Yeah. So you use the 2% to be able to manage your team and go out there and find these deals. Some venture capitalists have gotten real creative with that fee. They actually charge a 2% fee up front, and then they return it on the back end when they exit their portfolio companies.
Oh,
Yeah, which is really interesting.
smart idea though.
Yeah. So there's different terms for that, but it's very effective. A lot of LPs like that.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Because in essence, you're saying, hey, give me the money up front. I'll get all the things done. And once the deal's done, you'll get your early investment back. And you as a person, you already got paid, and so everyone's basically happy.
So that's exactly. But that's just like super small. Really, the juice is the carry. The carry is you get 20% off of the deals that you source.
Oh shit! Even if the deal.
Well, upon exit.
Okay.
So it's an 80-20.
Damn, still that's crazy.
Yeah.
God damn.
And we're talking about these companies are exiting at very high revenue multiples.
Right.
So it's normally a 2 and 20, right? Some firms offer more aggressive, more conservative. It all depends, but that's traditionally what a venture capitalist is. That's how you get paid. And the thing is, though, it's crazy, but when you're in the space, a lot of venture capital firms don't even survive because it's
risky as fuck.
Yeah, what people don't know, right? And I was mentioning this to you off air. It's a 10-year life cycle. Yeah. Right? It's a 10-year life cycle. So that means that these LPs are tying their money up with you for 10 years. Yeah. And they're okay with that.
Yeah.
Some people don't have that kind of capital to tie up for 10 years.
Yeah, not you, Bill. hey, Deshaun, not you, my nigga. You ain't make it there yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We want you to.
But King, you need a couple years.
Those shirts going.
But but
a little better cotton, Deshaun. A little better.
But there's some people who are okay with tying up capital for that long, right? There's shorter lockup periods sometimes, so that's considered a lockup period. So you have 10 years, and then some people have a 5-year, But it's tough because then what's happening is you're pushing your founders to exit the companies faster. But essentially, I'm getting too deep into it. But a venture capitalist is really, for lack of a better word, the middle person between the LP and the founder.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So like. You have angel investors, they're investing their own money. Mm-hmm. You have, direct investors, again, their own money, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have a venture capitalist who's investing money on behalf of his investors.
So
his or her investors.
Again, if you watched this pod before, I'm in the finance world. So venture capitalist is something that even I found as new, because mostly what I deal with is public markets. So I want to ask you. And I know we talked a little bit off air, but I want to bring it back up. Why did you? So, also, if you don't know, most venture capitalist deals and things like that are in the private market, right?
Yes.
So I want to make that point clear. So there's the public markets where you, Bill, Bob, whoever can go take like $100. I guess even 30. Take $100 and invest in Apple, right? That's a public market deal. Cool. Then there are, as you said,
but the thing is, there are blue chip companies that we know about that actually access venture capital in the very beginning.
Yeah, I would say a large amount, right? I would say
Airbnb.
Yeah, I would say a
Uber,
good amount, especially nowadays. Like the new, you mentioned fintech, but the new fintech companies, like
so the secret. And I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
you're getting me excited about it.
This is big money talk. Just in case you're not listening, this is big money talk.
I don't think we should let all the money on the table.
But you nailed it. So these companies that now are known globally, they at one point were known by almost nobody. They were just known by an exclusive group of people who we call, private equity or venture capital, right?
PayPal's another one, the big one actually.
Well, the PayPal mafia, right?
Yeah.
But they exist. They were normally in Silicon Valley, and these deals, these tech companies that were popping up, these well-off individuals wanted access to those deals before anyone can have access to them. So once a deal becomes accessible in the public markets, it's too late.
Right.
Really.
Right.
Like it's great. Okay, enjoy. But there's people that years before you even knew about Airbnb or Uber parked their money in that. And by the time it hit the public markets, they cashed out. Yeah. Right? And the thing is, those clubs have been restricted to a lot of us for a long time, especially Black and Latinos. Right? It's less than, I think, 1 or 2% of us in the industry that can even access these opportunities.
Or have these conversations. Like, it's a blessing to be in a room with you guys who have outlets on so many different things. Yeah. Somebody's going to see this and be like, I can't be Batman.
So before
you know what
before
I'm saying?
before I let you continue, and I'm happy you brought that up because it's something I say all the time, especially working in finance, right? It always bothers me, especially when you hear certain people talk and they're like, "Oh, why didn't so and so know about this?" Or, "Oh, that's crazy. You didn't put your money here." And it is like, yo, but like you're talking down to people who don't know what they don't know, right? Like, how could you ever even think about investing in a PayPal before you even knew what a PayPal was, or even knowing the groups of people to even, maybe I did have 50,000 that I could throw into.
But you're not invited to the table.
But you hadn't, because you didn't, right. So, and I'm so happy
crazy,
you brought that up, especially in our community, because so many of us don't even know these things are a thing.
So how do we democratize it, right? That's the question. How do we make it accessible to everyone? And this is why I'm on this podcast. This is why Goldin Brands exists. You mentioned about my company. We want to educate investors. We want to educate founders. We want to educate everyday people to know that there's opportunities out there to be able to build the right brands, build the right companies. And it's podcasts like this podcast that allow us to do that. So I appreciate both of you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah, because we're gonna drop some fucking gems.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but my original question was, so why did you choose the private markets over dealing with the public markets?
I told you why.
Yeah.
I told you why, and I was trying to avoid saying this, but the public markets are manipulated.
Right.
Know?
I mean, it's true. It's okay. You can say that's true. That's true.
Yeah. They're unfortunately manipulated, and they're very unpredictable. But so is the private market, of course, right? But for me, I had no fun parking my capital in the public markets and watching it like a gambler. That's what it feels like. Now you have fundamental, strategies that a lot of investors use in the public markets. But when you need some serious money to do that.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes, you do. It's not cheap.
It's not cheap. So for me, what happened was I have a very unique investment thesis at Goldin Brands. So I decided that with the money we made from our successful exits with Coffee and some other companies, I wanted to park it in startups, right, and work directly with founders, because that's who I am, right. So I can relate to them, and I can help guide them to building the right company. But I have a very unique strategy, which I never really exposed to anyone. But there's a model in the venture capital world called venture studios. And what a venture studio is a hybrid between a startup creative agency and a traditional venture capital firm. So what does that mean? So traditionally, when you secure LP's funds, they're telling you go out there and invest into the next big Uber or Airbnb, right? Or Facebook or Google XYZ.
That was traditional.
That's like more traditional.
Okay.
Like you go out there and you're looking for the next big company, right? I do kind of a reverse strategy where I look for emerging markets and I build brands from scratch to speak to those markets.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, for example, right now, Web3 is a huge, opportunity for companies that are looking to explore Web3. So I am an early stage investor. I've parked capital in a Web3 company, right? We're building it from scratch, right? I'm one of the early partners in that company. I didn't want to look for a company that was already deep, 6 months into it, 12 months into it, because now what happens is I'm competing against other venture capital firms, right? And we all have a wallet, right? We can all write you a check, right? But if I'm building a brand that's unique, that's from scratch, that we own 100% of the intellectual property, who's going to compete with us? Now you have to come to us.
Yeah, and it shows how you.
And I'm giving gems.
And we hold on. Because I don't think y'all heard him. I don't think y'all heard him as clear as fucking I heard him. Okay, God damn, that's his fucking strategy. So I'm sorry, I'm a nerd out here. I don't really care. We here now. How do you feel about AI? Because I know, for example, like
That's like saying how do you feel about the internet back then?
Well, because like so there's companies like Nvidia, I believe that's the name.
Yeah.
Of it, but whose returns this year have been astronomical,
Yes.
right? So I, as someone who's in the venture firm, who's in the private market terms, right? Like, are you? And obviously, you don't gotta be so personally. So I don't want to give away all your secrets here, but you know, is you know, because goddamn, it's competitive out here. But like, you know, is AI? Do you believe as an investor, as a venture capitalist, do you believe AI truly is the next? You're smiling at me. I'm thinking of the answer. But do you think it is the or like? Do you really think it's the next internet, or is it more of a .com bubble? In your eyes?
It's definitely not a .com bubble.
I don't think so either.
I honestly feel that every single person on this table uses AI already.
That's true.
Yes.
Actually, if you have if just side note, if you have the new iPhone update, it now uses AI when you text. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but now
it's here to stay.
It's if you text something, it guesses your next word
Put it like this.
without you even knowing you got AI on your fucking phone.
Okay, put it like this. So to give everyone some color, I went to business school, right? Columbia Business School. I spent 2 years there.
Ooh, hold on. Say again where you went. Hold on, nigga. He ain't go to Rutgers, nigga. He ain't say Rutgers, nigga. That's not what he said. Say it one more time. Hold on. Where my fucking gunshots at? Hold on.
Stupid.
He ain't say UCC Business School.
No.
Say that again. Which business school?
I went to Columbia Business
Fucking Columbia. It gets a fucking clap, man.
Was it with your grandma?
That's Ivy League, man. That's Ivy League.
Fill out
talk.
FAFSA because you didn't want to wake up at 9:30. Stupid. You had to put work in. I'm sorry, go.
No, please.
I got hot.
I know the podcast I'm on. I understand. Please, I love it.
They don't want to talk about the work, though.
But no. You have to put in the work. And some of my closest friends and some of my LPs in Goldin Brands are from Columbia Business School. I was very, very fortunate to attend that prestigious school and learn from Professor Lee and a lot of the other professors how to really.
Shout out to the professors. For real.
Shout out to all of my professors. But I was able to like really concentrate on venture capital, private equity. Columbia Business School had built out a world-class venture capital private equity executive program. Which is incredible. Yeah, I was
Talk about access.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was I didn't even know that was a fucking thing, and I'm in the fucking world.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah, I was actually a part of the inaugural cohort.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah,
what a fucking opportunity.
75 people from all over the world. Yeah, it was incredible.
And that expanded, like you already were on a
Bro, I was sitting next to someone in class who was literally managing $94 million right next to me. Like $94 million right next to me.
Put those t-shirts down.
And I'm just sitting there, that's my boy. Yo.
Regroup.
And he's like, yeah, this is my family office. And like he was from India. His father was like big in India. But literally, I'm watching him manage $94 million right next to me.
And he still wanted to know more. He still wanted to expand.
No.
That's the thing.
Wait. Oh my God.
Right?
Like, oh my God. So another fellow in our cohort was a gentleman named Kelly Kimball. Dear friend of mine, Kelly, I love you. This gentleman is in his 60s. He doesn't have to work another day in his life. This man has built a multi-billion-dollar company.
Wow.
Yeah, from scratch. From scratch. And honestly, in my opinion, he's probably the richest person I've ever met. Right? And I was sitting in class with him. Right?
He was in class.
He was in class with me in his 60s. And he's like, Goldin, I'm about to exit my company for a few $1 billion. And I want to really concentrate on venture capital, but I want to focus on empowering women. I feel like women entrepreneurs aren't getting enough attention.
Smart.
I feel like they aren't getting enough support.
Smart branding.
I feel honestly,
I agree with it, but like
and it's genius, but from the heart.
Right.
This gentleman literally wants to give back to women entrepreneurs, and he's like, because he feels so fortunate to be a 6'4" white man who was able to walk into business. And he's tall.
The nigga tall with a Billy?
Yeah.
Oh, he was wilding back in the day.
But that's my guy.
Oh, he was going nuts.
But that's my guy. And a reason I bring him up is because like what you just said, he doesn't want to stop learning. Like he made it. Like what a lot of us are striving to do.
The definition, niggas.
And he literally doesn't want to stop learning. Right. So that's the one thing I have to say that for me, I never want to stop learning. And
mental expansion, like the rooms you put in. When it's that access, now once getting that access and exposure, it's optimizing it. Because comfortability, that's the closest thing to stagnation, and that's the next step is death. The minute you get comfortable, King told me this. He was like, if it's too easy, stop it. He's like, if it's too easy, stop it. Because you think you've achieved something. No, you got cozy. And just from the conversations we've had, I can tell by right now where you're at. You're already focused on the next. And you're not hoarding it. You're not just trying to keep this to yourself. You're trying to expand and give it to other people who didn't have the access that you did at a young age when you were like, you know what, I can be that guy. That's the crazy part. It's even smaller, like when we get to those percentages of people who want to give back and try something where most people would think, I'm pretty sure you have friends, like you said, went back home, run a conversation off air, you went back home and you were like, damn, the love's still here, but I don't think this for me. And I'm pretty sure Cass thought you was crazy for thinking that you would be sitting here in this nice-ass suit. Not going to say what the whip is.
we didn't talk about the whip yet. I think we did enough for one day. We don't even need to mention the whip.
But it's that he wants this car. He wants to live in this nice apartment. He wants to be... And the fact that I'm allowed in the space is just because we was just cool. This was my bro, and we just meshed on some just life shit.
Right. I want to tell a very quick story, and then I want to ask you another question. But everything you said just reminded me of the story. I remember this is maybe elementary school going into high school, something like that. And I remember I had just started, because you mentioned basketball, so I just started with a different traveling team. This team had a bunch of players on there who were eventually ended up being D1 players and like high-level basketball players, right? So I remember I was going to Catholic school. We went to the same elementary school. We went to the same elementary school. So I was playing ball for my elementary school. And I know we had like a tournament game or something like that. I had a tournament in the morning, and I had a practice for my traveling team afterwards. So we go to the tournament, we win the tournament, right? So I go to practice, I'm hyped. I'm fucking talking shit. I'm telling my coach, like, yeah, I had like 6 and this, and I'm talking all this shit, right? This man looked at me dead in my eyes, me and my mans. He looked at me and my man's Tony, shout out Tony. Looked at us dead in the eyes and goes, oh, you happy you beat the deaf and blind? I said, oh, how old are you? Shit, I am 11, I'm 12 turning 13. I said, oh shit. And that story always resonates with me because, again, you mentioned like being comfortable and thinking it's too easy, right?
Yeah.
I thought we were the hottest shit because we're playing local teams. This man is a man he went to Brown, all-time leading assist player.
Yeah.
His son went D1, knows about, like he's seen high level. So for him, and really for me, it was like, oh shit. Like
that was probably the first time at that age.
And I'm thinking I'm him, and not realizing there's a whole other world out there I never even fucking seen before. So I'm thinking I'm this great fucking guy. Come to find out, this nigga laughing at me because it's like, oh, humbling. You beat them bums? Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's so mind-boggling to think, and just because we're in our bubbles, right? We're especially back in the day before we had social media and things like that. Now you can see who the best player is. You know, there's bums that you think they're the best player, but back then, you didn't know, so you just had ESPN and whoever to tell you who's good and who's not good. And then, you thinking you're the shit. And then it takes going to a different level. You going to Columbia and being next to a man who's a multi-billionaire. Yeah. It's like, oh, shit, I think I'm there. And then you meet there. And then it's like, oh, shit. And you always have to learn, always have to evolve and get there. So I say all that to even lead to my next question. And again, we briefly touched this earlier, is the lack of representation in these spaces, just investing period, of minorities, right? So in your mind, and obviously I don't expect you to have a solution, but in your mind, what do you think are some steps and some ways that minorities can either A, learn about this type of stuff, venture capitalists, public markets, things like that, learn, or not even and get involved? Like if there is a Black family who came into some capital and they are trying to find out different ways that they can grow it and create this generational wealth. How do you think, or in your mind, what are different ways that minorities can start getting involved in this financial space?
Before you answer this, can I say one thing? It just dawned on me. Remember the question, but first thing is self-actualization, self-affirmation. We have to remove that term minority. What the fuck is that? The moment we say that, who wants to be minor in any sense of life, in any aspect of anything? So when you say minorities, now we're talking to ourselves as we're smaller than we already view. So we're giving ourselves a...
Great point.
So I just stopped
Great
doing
point.
that
You
with
know what?
myself. I got a son.
I want to
He has
rephrase my
kids
whole
and-
question. I'm happy. I'm going to rephrase my whole question.
Your
How
floor.
can we get black and brown people involved in the financial world? Whether it's
Thank you, Key.
venture capitalists, whether it's public, whatever the case is. But how do you feel like we can get more black and brown people involved in the space?
Yeah, I'm so happy that you gentlemen asked me that question. There's a few things that we can do, right? So one is go out there and become more skillful, right? So a lot of us ignore that part. Right.
Nigga, you ain't tell me about the deal. Why not? Nigga, you ain't tell me I was gonna make it, but why not?
Yeah.
Nigga, what you mean?
But I went back to school. I went back to school to learn private equity and venture capital specifically, right?
At Columbia.
And I wanted that skill.
Right.
I wanted that skill, right? I'm currently learning French.
Bro?
Oh,
right?
fire.
Yeah, I want that skill.
Fire.
Right? So go teach yourself coding. Go teach yourself different industries. Go teach yourself roofing or whatever it is. But go pick up some skills, right? And make your that's gonna make you more marketable.
Valuable.
That's gonna open your mind. It's gonna make you more valuable. You nailed it, Drew. And so that's the first thing I would do, right? As black and brown people. A lot of people wanna fake it till they make it. They wanna look the part but not actually do the work. So I believe that we gotta go out there and do the work first, right? That's the first step. The second step is, there's so much, how would I say this? There's so much knowledge out there, right? There's so much books. You have YouTube, you have the internet, access all of that, right? That's 100%. But then for me, what did it for me, and I am a black and brown person, right? I actually asked for help. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that a lot of us are so proud to do. A lot of our parents and grandparents have access. Say, don't ever ask nobody for help. Don't ask anybody for no help. So we are ingrained.
Figure it out. You can do it yourself.
Yes, as children, not to ask for help. And I asked for help. I actually went to a gentleman named Jeff Ransdell. He's a managing partner, actually general partner of a firm called Fuel Venture Capital out of Miami. They're a boutique venture capital firm, actually the #1 firm, venture capital firm in Miami. Jeff Ransdell, Maggie Vo, and their entire team is just incredible. Yeah. I went to him directly and I asked for his help because that's what we have access to now. I literally, what do they call it, slid into his DMs. And I'm like,
hey, you slided into the host DMs.
Yeah.
This nigga slided into fucking billionaires DMs. And you slided into the host. Hey, we not built different, brother. Just know everybody built the same.
Hey, big head. Same text. 2 different people, stupid.
But you're right. I'm over here like trying to slide into the billionaires DMs,
Right.
And I'm like, hey, brother, I love what. And the thing is,
That's dope.
Well, let me tell you something. One of my, I don't want to call it my secrets because it's not a secret, but it's one of my gifts, right? Is that I genuinely care about what you care about, right? And since I was a kid, if I'm gonna speak to you, I want to know what you like. I want to know if you like business, if you like traveling, if you like cooking, whatever it is, and I want to stay on that subject with you, right?
Because you want to learn. That's innate. You can't even help it. That's how we got pulled on the court.
Yeah.
You're like, Drew.
When
you want it, let me know.
Exactly. I want to connect with you, and then I also, most importantly, but even deeper than that, you can't teach that. But even deeper than that, I want to know your story. A lot of us are so self-centered that we want to come and tell our story right away.
Always.
Right? Oh, you know what I do? And you're like, do you even care about my story at all? And the truth is that when you care about other people's stories enough to like genuinely listen to them and care about them, they're gonna give you the time of day. So before I reached out to Jeff Ransdell, I knew his story. I knew that he moved from New York City, went to Miami and built Fuel Venture Capital from scratch. He left Merrill Lynch, high-paying job, had this vision to create an ecosystem in Miami to bring venture capital there because traditionally it wasn't even there. It wasn't a market for venture capitalists.
Took a chance.
He took a chance, but I knew that before I even hit him up. I knew that. I did the homework.
Work, right?
I did the work.
You saw that.
I did the work.
That North Star. Talk your shit.
Nah.
This is
yo. Now I'm hyped.
Now we did.
I did the work.
No free game.
You know what I mean?
Because you saw yourself in that guiding star, like you said, the North Star. Here's the thing. The genuity, the energy. He saw himself in you.
And that's what happened. You nailed it.
You don't understand.
But that's what happened.
Shit.
So the
energy.
The moment I contacted him
and
we began the conversation, he's like, dude, I see a lot of myself in you. He's like, you know what he told me? He said, Goldin, you would crush the venture capital industry. You need to step up and get in this game. And you know what he did, bro? He literally put all of the resources right in front of me. He said, yo, you have access to my data room. You have access to my LPs. You have access to everything, my founders. He invited me to their top secret annual investor shareholder meeting with all the founders, all the LPs. I'm in the room, leather seat, everything, white leather seats chilling next to the most. Yo, he put me in the room. He put me in the room.
May I ask what was the initial motive for the convo at that point where you were at? Because you already had a different landscape. So what was the initial?
Yeah, so King Solomon mentioned earlier, why did I pivot from the public markets into the private market, right?
Okay.
So like I said earlier, I feel like the public markets are manipulated, right? Just my opinion. And I felt that I wanted to access the private market, but I needed some mentorship. I needed someone that can hold my hand a little bit and say, hey, this is how we maneuver in this private market. And so the shift, that's what happened. I got lucky. His page popped up on Instagram, and I'm like, who is this dude, and what's his firm? And I did my homework, and basically, I asked for the help. And that's what I made the shift, and I just jumped in. Like I wasn't afraid. I had some money, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just jump in. And I seeded my firm with $1 million. Like it wasn't a lot. I'm gonna give you guys numbers. It was $1 million. Like, that's it, And I was lucky to have that, but I put it all in. I said, I'm gonna do this. And I diversified.
Lucky to have a mill is a different humility.
No, yeah.
I'm sorry.
He said, I know he said $1 million.
I had to.
I felt you like, nigga, that's it.
No.
Niggas wait for the income tax and swear they Wayne Brady. I just
to blow it up on some
but,
club, yeah.
But you know what's crazy? But the reason is so much fun, right? So let's say each one of us had $1 million, right? You have $1 million, you have $1 million, I have $1 million, right? You decide to go blow it at the club, right? And every week you're at the club, you're buying bottles, you have jewelry, all the girls are at your table, right? You drive a nice car, and you're pretty much gonna run out of money in maybe 6 to 12 months.
easily
Right? Living that lifestyle, right?
100%.
All right, King Solomon has $1 million, and he decides to conservatively invest it into the public markets, right? And he's like, I'm gonna put some in Tesla, I'm gonna put some in Lululemon, I'm gonna put some...
Fucking Lululemon. Fucking company, man. I don't know. Sorry.
Nobody knows, but
But
it works.
But okay, and he's conservatively investing, right? And he's seeing the growth and he's parking it. And let's say it grows by, 10% this year, right?
Great fucking year. The public
Great
markets.
year, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But let's just say that you were that good,
Right.
He just made $100,000. That now he can go blow at the club if he wanted to.
Yeah.
And he still has his $1 million principal.
Yeah.
Right? And he enjoys it. But the difference between, and I'm gonna say my example, King Solomon is not involved in the day-to-day of these businesses. He can't speak to the CEO of Lululemon. He can't speak to the CEO of Tesla. He's just a shareholder, right? Which is okay, it's great, right? But me, I have him, so I'm the third example, right?
Yeah.
So I have my $1 million. I decide to go and invest it into founders, right? Or into building brands from scratch. I can control that every single day, right? I can take a board seat.
You're still hands-on with
I'm hands-on. I'm speaking to the CEO every single day. I'm pushing them. I'm guiding them, man or woman. And I'm like, yo, we can do this together. Let's go. I'm gonna make a phone call. I'm gonna make a connection, whatever it is. And I like to be in the trenches you know, as I'm building my capital. And that's the examples here, right? So that's the difference. So we each had $1 million. You blew it. He conservatively invested it. And then I decided to just be more active and you know what I mean?
So
I like you broke it down in so many different ways.
And I do want to play devil's advocate, right?
Please,
because you come from the equity world, and obviously me working in public markets, I know what equity means.
Yes.
Right. So I want to propose and be devil's advocate here, right?
Yeah.
For those of you,
I was waiting for that moment. Waiting for that moment.
For those of you who don't know, right? So just to make it very, very easy, let's just say you have a bunch of building blocks, right? Let's say at the very top of the building block is the safest way that you can invest your money, okay? And usually at the bottom of the building block is the equity, right? The equity is honestly the most riskiest way to invest your money. No, I have no skin in the game. That's the truth. It is the truth, right? So if I'm somebody who is just a conservative person, right?
And by the way, I just want to interject for a second because I love the devil advocate that you're playing right now. But none of us did anything wrong. We all made a decision. We all made a decision on how to spend our money.
Correct.
Right? So the guy that blew it at the club, no problem. He made a decision. He enjoyed his life. Right? And maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe his whole life he worked. I'm going to make this $1 million.
I get you.
Right?
Okay.
So right or wrong, that's how he chose to do it. Right? It's all subjective. Right? You understand?
I'm happy you brought that up too, because that is very key. In investing, period, or just spending money, however you handle your money, everything is subjective,
It's
right?
subjective.
Whether you want to be, quote unquote, aggressive,
yes,
in the equity markets,
aggressive, conservative. What would we
have a great fucking time? The niggas had a great.
You had a great time, Drew.
So progressive, conservative, dale.
To play devil's advocate, right? Equity markets are risky. What would you say to somebody like me who's trying to play devil's advocate and say, yeah, I do have this $1 million, but I don't know about investing in equity?
Well, I'm glad you said that, right? So let's say you only had $1 million, right?
Right. Or I'm sorry, not to joke, but to keep it, so that's how to keep.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. So let's keep it like normal people terms, right? Yeah. So let's say you are somebody in their, let's say, late 50s.
Okay, I'll give you a great example. Hold on, I'll give you a great example. Remember back in the days when we were kids and we would walk to school and our parents gave us a $5 bill,
yes,
right, to be able to go to school.
Yes,
and you remember that, Jew? Like when you would get
I used to flip mine.
Okay.
I used to save all my money.
Okay. But you remember so almost every school had like a little grocery store near it, right?
Bodega. We call it bodega.
Right. So you have your $5 bill. You walk to the grocery store. You're most likely not gonna spend $5 on just beverages.
Never.
You're not gonna spend $5 on just chips.
Never.
Right? You're not gonna spend $5 on just candy.
You shouldn't. I might have.
That's true.
I may have, but you should not.
But what do you normally do? You diversify.
See where we can go with this.
Unpack that.
Go with this.
You diversify, right? So meaning you take $1, you buy a beverage. You take another $1, you buy a honey bun. You take another $1, you buy some chips.
They ain't gotta get the honey barbecue chips. they ain't gotta get the honey barbecue chips with the honey bun, with the $1 soda.
But some people
had a plan.
And then some people might be like, you know what? I'm gonna double down on candy. I'm gonna put $2 on candy.
Okay.
So to King Solomon's point, doesn't matter the amount of money you have, but it's about diversifying, right? So I have money parked in real estate. I have money parked in restaurants. I have money parked in startups. And I do have money parked in the public markets, but it's not a big majority of my net worth.
Right.
So, but the majority is in venture capital because that's what I do believe in. And that's what I believe in, right? And that's what I do. But you have to diversify. So to answer your question, that's what I would do. I would say, okay, where do I want to park my money? Some people have 401ks, some people have retirement packages, and they park their money in different places,
Right.
And some people are aggressive, like you said, but it's about where do you want to park your money? Make the money, but then start parking it. Everyone's so afraid to park their money, though.
Yeah, so
Go.
They just, but people, it comes into the kind, they're just spending it.
I'm very curious to your opinion on this. I'm very curious on your opinion on this because obviously I'm coming from a Haitian household, right? And my parents were as conservative can be, right?
Haitians are conservative.
Yeah, so now
one of my best friends is Haitian. Shout out Kevin Boney.
As conservative can be. Now, the one thing that they were, and I give my parents a lot of credit because around this time when they started investing in 401ks, it was basically a new asset class at the time, right? So not a lot of black people were putting their money in 401ks because they didn't know what it was.
Yes.
The white man was just telling them to put their money there, and they were like, fuck out of here, I want to keep my money, right? Not thinking of the future, but because they didn't know better, right?
Exactly.
So they're just conservative people. Like that's how it is. But it took me getting into finance and it took me learning diversification and all these things. And it's like, again, it goes back to the theme of folks not knowing what they don't know, right? All you're seeing is, well, Bob done invested into penny stocks and he lost all his money. Well, fucking Tim put 30 million.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of people try to hit home runs right away.
Exactly, right? So like they
without the skill set, you never went to the batting cage. God damn it! Now you became Mark McGwire.
And you said a key word too early, which was gambling. If the feeling of gambling, I even talked to my dad today, right? In 2024, and I'm telling, hey, I know this, and that. Like, yeah, I don't want to gamble my money. I'm like, yo, what are we talking about, right? So I get it, like, but and especially for black folk coming from not having a goddamn thing to having a few fucking dollars in your pocket, I get it. What I want to ask you, especially when it comes to diversifying and things like that, again, for somebody who's just brand fucking new, let's say I'm brand spanking new. I work at fucking, I don't know, ShopRite. Let's say I work at ShopRite. I'm a manager now. I'm making $25 an hour. I'm just throwing numbers out there, right? What would be some early advice you can give just a normal person on how they can just start? Just start, whether it's just start investing their money anywhere. Like what advice would you give anybody to just start? To get going.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So I think the first thing you need to really do is learn some of the most basic fundamentals of being financially responsible, right? So a lot of people have those kind of jobs and they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
And the reason they're living paycheck to paycheck is because they're actually upside down, right? In their life, right? And what that means is they're actually spending more than they make.
Always.
And they don't realize it because what happens is there's certain bills they'll push off, there's certain bills they ignore, and then next thing you know, they're just like swimming in debt, and they're just like, man, like the moment the check comes in, the mortgage needs to get paid, the kids' daycare needs to get paid.
The rent.
You know, and
You said mortgage.
Okay.
The rent.
You know,
no bullshit.
Oh shit, that was a Republican laugh. Thank you, Americans finally showed you its true colors. 2024 is gonna be a year.
Oh my God, there we go. But you know, so
I hate this nigga.
So
I like how.
So wait. So I'm gonna unwrap that. So basically, what a lot of us are afraid to do is to look at the concrete data, right? So a lot of us actually haven't really sat down to look at our numbers, to really crunch our numbers and write down your expense report,
a fucking budget,
and your income report and your budget. Right? When's the last time that you right there, who you're watching me, right? When's the last time that you created an expense report? You created an income report, that you created a budget, right? You're just out there living day to day. You're just out there living week to week. You're living month to month, but you want to be a millionaire. How does that work? It doesn't work that way. You need the fundamentals first, right? So that's what I would say, number one, right? Don't be afraid of the numbers. Look at the data. Sometimes when you look at the data, that's how you can make calculated decisions. So I helped a friend one time look at his data, look at his expense report, look at his income report, look at his budget. Come to find out, he was spending almost $7,000 a month on designer weed.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hey, brother. Hold on. Side note. Let
But wait.
Because
But living in the projects.
son, that is.
It was unbelievable.
That's absurd.
Wait,
that's absurd.
$7,000.
He was a trapper. He was trapping.
Okay.
He was trapping.
That's absurd.
But then he was, you know, like he was getting high on his own supply.
Yeah.
$7,000 a month.
That's absurd.
That was a discovery. I said, dude, you could be driving a Lamborghini. You could move out of the projects.
Yeah, you don't got trapped no more.
You don't got to trap no more.
That's an $85,000 expense, which he doesn't.
No, and I'm not exaggerating. He's going to watch this podcast. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, shit.
It was crazy.
Hey, look at some class go for a man to spend $7,000 like that.
Man, there's people out there who are doing it, though.
No, but that's why I just laugh because, son.
Look, we're not talking about black weed. We're talking about designer weed. It's different.
Right.
But that's an $85,000 fucking expense a year. You said $7.
But I think also because you know when you're in the projects, people aren't. So he's probably letting other people get high with his shit.
Of course you are.
You know what I mean?
You're not smoking $7,000 of designer.
You know what I mean?
Yourself. Your man's king. Your man's son king. Your man said he was gonna match, but he ain't match. South Seabrook. You know what I mean? I know how it goes.
Everybody smoking out of Mary, right?
Everybody got the cookies from Cali that week. Oh, everybody got cookies? Everybody got cookies?
But you got to think about it. No offense, I don't want to act like I know about this business, but what does a pound go for right now? You see what I'm saying?
Hey,
Yeah.
I heard allegedly.
Yeah. Exactly.
What weed is?
Allegedly. Allegedly. Allegedly.
But that's my point. Look, so Jew, so
that's what it is. Like you said, you know the dude that's always smoking.
But I'll give you another friend of mine who wanted to start a trucking business, and
it's a big one. A lot of niggas.
No, and you know what? And this is actually a personal story, which I'll share. He was a childhood friend, wanted to start a trucking business. Like you mentioned, a lot of people want to get into that business, that industry. It is a big industry. A lot of opportunities. But he was living, you know, paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure it out. He was still kind of like moving back and forth from like his mom's house, his cousin's house, and he was just trying to figure out life. And he didn't have enough money to be able to buy the truck. You know, trucks are expensive.
They are.
You know, and you know, paying his rent, helping his mom, helping his family. It was gonna take him years to be able to like save up the money to even get into the business. So I own real estate. So what I did was I told him, I said, hey, look, I have a unit that's completely available. It's a 2-bedroom. It's probably more than what you need, but why don't you move into that apartment free of charge? I'll take care of everything, rent free.
Huge.
And instead of paying me rent, so let's say the rent was $1,800 a month, right, or $2,000 a month for a 2-bedroom. Don't give me the $2,000. Save it. Like just live there. That way you're eliminating the rent where you're at.
Yeah.
You're eliminating paying for any utilities. Right? I'm literally giving you an opportunity to stack your bread. In a matter of like 6 months, he stacked up $15,000.
Yeah, nigga.
That's the kind of friend I am.
I was about to say, hey, nigga, where were you? Where were you my whole life when I needed friendships?
Yo, but you know, but you know what?
Niggas wouldn't even give me $100 to get this bitch. God damn.
So 4 for 4.
But wait. I'm gonna get even more personal. I'm gonna get even more personal.
That's dope.
No, but I'm gonna get even more personal.
That's
Drew.
dope as fuck. Man.
I was probably I was like 20, 21 at the time. I had just started to get focused. We were building it up. We were landing on contract. We were kind of making money, but I was young and I was foolish with the money and I was spending it and I was living paycheck, like whatever deals we would get, right? And I ended up losing my apartment at the time.
Wow.
Right? I was living in Brooklyn in this beautiful brownstone. Rent was really expensive in New York at the time. It's still expensive.
Brooklyn rent is fucking crazy.
It's insane.
In the hood too. It is fucking.
It was crazy,
nuts.
bro. It was $4,000 a month back then.
Back then?
Yeah.
Niggas.
Oh my God, this was for the avocado toast and poodles. What the
No, it was crazy. It was expensive.
And that brown surprise
but no,
$6 right now, no cap.
I was that young dude trying to like, yeah.
I went to in a brownstone.
Yeah.
America, after this episode, you might not see me no more.
But wait. So what happened was I lost everything, right? And I had to rebuild. And a friend of mine, Dallas J. Logan, he's one of my best friends. He had him and his best friend Butch had an apartment in not too far from me on St. James Place.
Oh,
actually in Biggie's old building.
Oh,
Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, I know St. James. Like,
Yeah, they actually owned the apartment there in that building, in his building. Yeah, they actually knew Biggie, which was crazy.
That's crazy.
They've been there.
Yeah.
So they actually, when I lost everything, I needed a place to crash. So I crashed at their place, and I was there. They're like, how long you need to be here for? I said, nah, just give me a few days. I'm gonna figure it out. As you know, whenever you let a friend stay with you, a few days turn into a few weeks.
Always.
Yeah,
it's usually a couple months. At least 2-3 months.
Right?
Yeah.
So what happened was,
like that.
and then what happened was funny is that friend that you usually let them stay, they're out there making money, making moves, and they just chilling.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they're coming back home, and they got some money in their pocket, and they're not even thinking about helping you out, buying some groceries, none of this. So while I was staying there, I was there maybe a few weeks, like after a few days, right? And then my boy comes to me, he's like, yo, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. You said a few days. You've been here for a few weeks.
Oh, you have a combo.
You've been here for a few weeks.
You my man, but
yeah, but you know what he did? He changed my life. He said, "Look, I'm not gonna kick you out. You're one of my best friends, and I know you don't got nowhere to go right now. You're trying to figure out life. I know you got this little gig that's giving you some money here and there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna charge you rent, right? I'm gonna charge you. At the time, I think he was charging me $800 a month, right? Like, and I was sleeping on the couch. So I was paying $800 a month for the couch. And he said, but what we're gonna do is you're gonna give me the $800 a month, right? I think he broke it down to like $200 a week, right? He said, you're gonna give me this for like the next, I don't know, 6 months, whatever it was, right? And, or 12 months, whatever it was. And he's like, you're gonna be here, you're gonna pay me this money, and he grabbed the envelope, and he showed me the envelope, and you know those yellow envelopes, whatever?
Yeah.
And he's like, every week you give me the money, I'm gonna put it into this envelope. I'm not gonna touch this money. And at the end of whatever, it was 6 months, I believe, right?
6, yeah.
Right? He's like, I'm gonna hand you this envelope, and you're gonna go out there and you're gonna find yourself a place.
Yo,
right?
let's get some
Friends.
Yeah, it was crazy. But you know what he said? No, but he's a real dude, bro. He said, but if you miss one of the payments, I'm kicking you the fuck out. One payment.
And that's love.
And that's love. He's
that's fucking love.
He's like, I need you to be serious. I'm giving you an opportunity.
Yeah.
Every week you bring me the $200. I'm gonna put it in this envelope. And at the end of the 6 months, this is what you're gonna have. And you're gonna be able to go out there and do what you gotta do with your money, and you're good. And I'm gonna feel like I helped you and you helped yourself. But if you skip a payment, one payment,
Contract done.
I'm not gonna feel bad to kick you out. I'm not gonna feel bad. So I paid it forward years later. So when my good friend needed help, I said, I'm gonna let you stay in my place. Stay there for 6 months. Stack up your bread.
It was him?
So my friend Dallas helped me.
You paid for the other.
Dallas helped me when I was in my early 20s. When I'm established now. Yo, I'm 35. I'm established now. I went to my friend and I said, yo, I have these properties. I have this opportunity. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to save your bread, bro. Save your bread so you can go pursue your dreams. He stayed in my place, saved up $15,000. He used that $15,000 to get into the trucking business. He's made over 6 figures already.
Yo, we not go. God damn it.
No.
What a
He knows I love him. He knows I love him.
fucking way to listen. All right, hold on. God damn, that was fucking beautiful.
No. Come on, bro. Why we not doing it? That's how black and brown people help each other.
Son, tell niggas that. But before we go, so we're gonna wrap up a little bit, but before we go, one thing we always do with guests here, and after this conversation, I think it's probably going to be the best one that we've had.
Oh my God, thank you.
So top notch.
Just
Thank you.
before you go, if you have one piece of advice for anybody listening, watching this podcast, it could be whatever you want. One big, small piece of advice to whoever, what would you give them?
You know, it actually, someone gave me some words earlier today, and it really resonated with me. And I was like, wow, I really haven't heard that in a long time. And he said, you know, Goldin, we have to pay attention to our first impressions, right? Like a lot of us are not really, you know, taking our first impression seriously anymore. You know, and like I showed up to this podcast suited up in a 3-piece suit because I wanted my first impression.
Best podcast yet.
No, you know what I mean? I wanted my first impression with you gentlemen to be, you know, top notch, right? I took it seriously. And I think that a lot of us aren't taking life seriously anymore. And a lot of us aren't really focused on our first impression. So I think that we need to start focusing on that. Like, what's our first impression? A lot of us are posting stuff online that we shouldn't be posting.
Right.
You know, a lot
Especially
of us.
the online shit.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. You know what I mean? And if I go to your page and that's going to be my first impression, I'm probably not going to align myself with you.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so if you want the right people to align themselves with you, then you need to really be focused on what's the first impression they get. Like any brand, they always think about that. When you go onto a website, they always say, what's the first impression the customer is going to get of our brand? That's a
real question.
That's a real question in corporate America or in any brand. What's the first impression that someone's going to get when they see our brand, when they see our product, when they see our service? So I think as individuals, we need to really apply that rule to ourselves, right? What's our first impression when someone meets us? You know, we're looking them in the eye. Remember, I had a friend many years ago. He said, man, the first impression when I met you, you stood up from your chair and you shook my hand and you looked me in the eye. And he said, from that moment on, I knew to take you seriously and I knew that I can do business with you. Mm-hmm. You know, but if a person doesn't even stand up from their chair to shake your hand and look you in the eye, then that means they're lazy probably, or that means they lack respect, or that means they're probably not someone that you're gonna want to do business with. So I make sure that, your team walked in, right? Yeah. I stood up from my chair to shake his hand.
Every single person, yes, you did.
You know?
To me, when you first knocked on that door, you shook my hand. So what's up to me? Jew came over, you knew Jew. And then shout out to Big Shah came in and said, that is 100%.
And I stood up from my chair.
That is 100% true.
I could have just said, what up, bro?
You definitely could have.
What up, bro?
That is, and outside of Jew, me and Shah, you know, from a can of paint. And you definitely, that is 1,000% the truth.
But a lot of us would be so lazy not to do that. You don't take the extra effort to stand up from your chair.
Day. That's how we connected.
But just to kind of put everything,
energy.
Just put everything.
Our
together.
First impression.
Yeah, our first impression of each other. Yeah. And then after that, like, yo, you got next? You got next?
And then we were consistent with it. You nailed it.
No, but
also they have $1 million companies. I'm not CEO. I tell myself, But that's the difference. It's humility.
But your jump shot's high.
But it's crazy. But wait. One more thing. So it's crazy that Drew says that. I go to any environment, any basketball court, any club, whatever. I don't leave with who I am and what I have.
Right.
Like for example,
that's a fact. I would never know.
No, yeah.
Years later.
But even King Solomon, he showed me the beautiful recording studio that you guys own, a part of this company, and it's gorgeous. And I saw the recording studio, and I congratulated him.
Would never know.
No, you would never know. And the moment I walked out of there, I didn't tell him I also own a recording studio. And that's what people want to do. I was appreciating his story. It wasn't about my story, right? And then later on in our conversation, we discovered that I also own a recording studio. And we connected on that. And he had no idea that my brother produced A Boogie's. A Boogie's.
Yeah. Let's keep our secrets.
Shout out to my guy D Gunner, Plug Studios, NYC. You know, I love you as my brother for over 20 years. You know, I also name dropped another producer as well. My brother Vinyls from Washington Heights.
Oh shit.
You know,
don't subscribe, don't nothing.
No, yeah. These are some heavy hitters over here. You know?
Too much humility.
But you won't even know I'm connected to hip hop.
What our other brothers, Shot Money, he a chef. We got another, well, that's a special interview also coming up, but you would never know how they carry like the work to go into chef when we have these interviews and stuff like that, to go into that. Like we said, senseis before.
Yeah.
Like you needed not just mentorship, a sensei. What you wanted was a different type of skill set. It was an art form. This is gonna carry over legacy.
Yeah.
And people it's bigger than just taking it serious. It's not taking it for granted. That's a whole nother thing.
But let me tell you something, especially that I mentioned these two great men from my community. One thing that we all have in common is that we put in the work. You know, so when you look at the D Gunners and the Vinyls and the Goldin Martinez of the world, even Lin-Manuel Miranda, who came out of Washington Heights, we put in the work.
Shout out Washington Heights.
You know, and blood, sweat, and tears, like from the ground up, from basements to towers, bro. Like this is like, we weren't afraid of it. And that's what I said earlier. A lot of us are afraid to put in the work. We want to look the part, but we actually don't want to do the work. So, you know, these gentlemen were in the trenches doing it, you know, and that's one thing I would say that to any young person watching this, you know, don't be afraid of putting in the work. You know, you're gonna get the results. You know, a lot of people go to the gym and they go, oh, this is not for me. I'm not seeing results. Yeah, but if you stick with it long enough, you're gonna see the results. Because it's proven to work. It's if you put in the work, you're gonna get the results. It's a lot of you quit too early. A lot of you are too lazy. Come on, let's go.
Let's get some fucking claps going.
Let's go.
So before we sign off,
wake up.
If anybody just wants to learn more about you, if anybody wants to follow you, your companies, everything that you're doing, please, your handles, anywhere that anybody can find Goldin.
Yeah, no, thank you. So I have the unique pleasure of being the only Goldin Martinez on earth.
Which is fucking fire.
You know?
That's a great name though, with the logo. Show the logo to the world. America.
No bullshit. I'm sorry. Just a quick funny note on off air. I was like, yo, what's your real name? You said Goldin. I said, no, your real name. I said, nigga, Goldin. I said, oh shit. I said, oh, that's wild. That's fucking tough.
Let me see. We can.
I said, yo, you said
not the license.
I said, nigga, you sure? He said, nigga, the name Goldin.
Sure,
I said, motherfucker, the nigga came out Goldin. How about that?
Look at
That's
that.
fucking beautiful.
He's about to provide proof. Evidence.
Hey, I'm telling y'all right now that the name is Goldin. The motherfucking NJMBSC wrote the nigga's name down on here. His name is Goldin, so I can attest to it.
Here you go, Drew.
I see the driver's license. I seen.
But I'm not going to show them. It says New Jersey.
Yeah, don't show them.
NBC.
Y'all niggas be watching. Hey, yo, put it on the table.
Put it on the table.
Yeah, niggas be fucked up. But that's
how they got Pop Smoke.
Yeah, you heard?
Man, he rest in peace.
He wasn't here. Yeah.
Oh my God,
Let's get some claps going. Goldin.
What are we doing? What is he doing? Fucking AI?
But no, yeah.
This is real.
Yeah, so everyone, you can find me on Goldin Martinez on pretty much every platform. Again, like King Solomon said, it's Goldin Goldin Martinez. And I'm pretty accessible. You know, there's a lot of people out there who are in my space who may not be as generous as I am with the knowledge and the wisdom and the resources. But if you reach out, I am. You know, I love to give back. That's what my company represents. I didn't really get to talk about some of the pillars of our companies, but
please take the time if you want to.
No worries.
Okay.
But basically,
we'll have a part two. We'll have a part two.
Yeah, we'll have a part two. But basically, you know, I'm all about empowering communities and empowering individuals who want to change their life. So if you want to reach out, you want to drop me a message. If this particular episode resonated with you, I'm there for you. You know, even if you want to have a conversation about your ideas, about your brand. Just like Jeff Ranzel did for me, just like Ronnie Fuller did for me, just like Dallas J. Logan, just like all of my mentors who poured into me, I'm all about paying it forward. So if you need help out there, I'm here for you.
Yo, man, Goldin, thank you again. Let's get one more set of claps, man. Thank you again. What a wonderful episode. We really appreciate you coming out again. Hey, you don't do interviews. One of the very rare ones, so if you're watching, you lucky too. So again, thank you. We got nothing left. Big Jew.
First one.
Sign us out, brother.
No free game.